morning, everybody, and happy Tuesday. If you're here with me in the Discord or in the YouTube chat, let's see who's with us this morning. Let's see here. We have Gringo El Diablo, Billy Joe, Mike, Brian Johnson, The Beast, Picky Anya, Brian, G-Lines, Dante, Ivan, Karen, Akil, Clicks, Dips, Joe, Anubis, Jam, Candle Slanger, Edward, Dust, Session Flow, Amateur Genius, JQ, Spastric, Luke, Valentine, Fat Citizen, Gold Chest, SW, Frank, JQ, Cicino, Kelvin, Scott Toshi, Cyrus National. Good morning, Retberg, Big Sky Tiger Trader. What's up, everybody? Big G in the house. Vadim. Good morning, the Meek, Shima, Mr. Bugs, top of this morning. Buffalo Bill, Justin, James, Life to the Max. Good morning, Crypto Trades. Hisham, Double RC. Good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing today? Anybody know what the special event of the day is today? Anybody know? What is it? What's happening today? There's something. Can't quite remember. What is it then? What is it? What? I always forget. It's PPI, that's right. PPI today. Jeff says, trade the news and lose your account day. Oh my goodness. Woo-wee. You know what else we have going on? We have not only PPI today, but we got something tomorrow too. Get those likes in early. 1,000 likes, we stick around, we stream the open together, which I would love to do. It's not like I don't want to do it. You know what I mean? CPI tomorrow, that's right. PPI today, CPI tomorrow. Trade the news and lose your reset account. That's a great attitude to have. It's funny. We talk about some orders. We talk about practice. Oh yeah, somebody's spoofing there. 550. Mm-hmm. I guarantee you it's you think it's a person or you think it's an algorithm? It's probably an algorithm, right? People are so stingy with their likes. I think people just forget about it. I don't think anybody's stingy. What country flag is that, Adrio? What is that? What country is that? I see this. It's a British territory. That is that Fiji? Ah, very nice. Welcome to the Fijians in the chat here. What is 60% off? You get 60% off 49. If it's your very first account, you get like an additional 20% off. So works out to be a nice little healthy discount there. Rips just started around 7-ish Central Time, at least 500. Ah, so you folks have been watching this player, huh? They've just been messing with everybody's orders today. Interesting. I can see them yesterday messing around on the offer. Now they're on the bid, huh? Tricky, tricky. Look, they're back at, oh no, that's smaller. They were. That's why I love Bookmap, because you can see the trails left behind. It's me. That's funny. What's up, Coach Hoop? How are you, buddy? Thank you, Brian. Good morning to you, buddy. Emil says, hey, Rips, what's your opinion on moving stops to protect losses? By experience, have you gained more money long-term by moving the stop faster to avoid losing trades? Yeah, I mean, if you're moving, stops are kind of a double-edged sword, because if you put one on too quickly and too tight, you don't give your trade enough wiggle room. So it's really about the selection and location of where you're placing your original open on your trade. The idea for me for a really nice trade is that I want to put on a starter size, and then I want to be able to add into that trade. Whether or not that's my starter is not at the perfect location, or that means that I can add to it because it's going to pull back and give me a better entry. But also, I'm not a wizard. I can't time travel, so I don't know if my entry right there and now. For instance, here, let's pull up the... 1 minute's okay. Let's just say that we're trying to short this market, right? This is not a real trade. Don't take this trade. This is a bad idea. This is not a real analysis. But let's just say your idea is we're going to break these lows, these temporary lows that we put in. So you want to get short in this market. And let's say that you put on starter size right here. You have an idea that maybe the market's just going to go for that break right here and now. And maybe you're looking for an add spot here. But also, if it pulls back to, and again, this is not whole numbers or anything like that. Ignore that. We're just looking at the pattern of this to prove the point that I'm trying to prove. Let's just say that we're possibly looking for a pullback up to this area. Maybe your trade location isn't the greatest here. Obviously, trade location would be better up here. But let's just say you have to get in here and now because the threat is that it's going to break here. And then you'd be looking to add to it here. If it pulls back to this area, you're probably adding here. You're probably adding here. Here's the problem that most people run into is that, obviously, this is not a great example, but just give me some rope, okay? If you're in this trade here short and you have a stop here and the market comes up, wicks your stop, goes a little bit higher, and then it does the original idea, you know, you can argue it from two different camps. Number one is maybe the short is too tight here, or you can come here and add back. Problem is that if we kind of wash and rinse, we just end up doing this until we finally break. You're going to end up getting stopped out, back in, stopped out, back in, and you're just going to get completely wiped out. What I'd recommend is that you want to put on a trade. Number one, your location should be a very good location. Problem is that if you're waiting for your entry at this location, you do have to wait for that bounce. If that bounce never comes and we do crater through this level, well, you're going to miss the trade. So how do you mitigate all of that? You put on the trade. You have your stop that makes sense based on the structure. In this case, we have sort of a double top here. And you put your, okay, here we go. Bye-bye. You put your stop in a spot that's going to make sense where you can withstand the ebb and flow of the market. And by doing that, the ebb and flow in the market, you will be able to get above that and kind of deal with the push and pull. So where do you want to start moving stops then? If you're in a trade here short, you kind of get an add here. Now your average is somewhere in here. We start to get that break that we're looking for. It starts to go down. I would say you move your stop to somewhere in the structure. Where's a multiple touch point in the structure? Somewhere in this level. So you'd be moving your stop probably somewhere to now break even in your trade. Does that make sense? Who was it that asked that question? I think it was Emil, right? Is that cool? Okay. That's kind of, you know, and again, these are not areas of the market that I'm looking to interact with, but I'm just trying to give you an example of like, let's look at a pattern and how do we interact with that. So hopefully that makes sense, but moving your stop too quickly can get you out of trades. Moving your stop once you get what you're looking for, not too quickly, makes a lot of sense. Let's see if we can pull back and see any other areas. I mean, we could just use something like this, right? Something that's already happened. Let's just say you're looking for a long. You know, you're looking for a long in this market. You're using this kind of level right here as your backstop. So you're looking at this pulling back. You maybe enter a long here. Not a great trade location, but maybe your stop for your long is somewhere down here. You're able to add here. So your average now comes to here. Once this starts to push up, you could move your stop from here to here. And then once this pulls back, you could find a confident add once it wicks over this level, add into it, move your stop. Once this makes a new higher low, you're moving your stop here. And then you'd probably get stopped out, you know, on that pullback there. But same kind of deal. You're moving your stop with market structure and the ebbs and flow of the market. It's not always going to be pretty, especially in a choppy market like this, but you will tend to stay in trades longer and probably extract more points than if you're moving your stop too quickly, if that makes sense. Tony asks, so if you have a max 15 contracts to trade, you never put all 15 on at once. You certainly could, but I'm from the camp of where I'm not a time traveler, so I can't be certain that where I choose my initial entry is always going to be the best one. Morning, Coach Hoop. Thank you there, Holy Earth. So yeah, I mean, there's people who just put on their size that they want to put on, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with doing that. But I'm from the camp of where I like to scale into my positions. Now, let's say we're going with that original example again, where we're looking for a takeout of these lows. If I open a position here and my whole idea is, let's just use your example, 15 contracts. Let's say I open 3 here and it really starts to roll over. I'm probably going to be trying to click into full size if I'm confident that we're actually going to take out these lows. But then again, I need a target, right? If my target is somewhere here, then it's okay for me to be adding into this position. But again, it becomes risky when you're interacting with something like this, where it's like, this is the low of Globex and we're looking to take out that low. You might be running into a bounce. So maybe you're not going for full size. There's a lot of things that make this difficult, right? Or you can just go full size right away. Problem is that if you go full size, what if we have a reversal here before we even interact with these lows? You know, I'm a fan of scaling into my positions. Sometimes I'll scale very quickly if the market starts to move in my directionality. Sometimes I'll miss it. It's very, very difficult. What's up, Sir Noodles? What are our thoughts on PPI? Let's see here. See if we have any of the final analysts. So here, there you go. We're just talking about this. There's your sweep of the lows, but does it hold? This is where this type of trade becomes rather dangerous. And being a momentum trader kind of gives you an edge, because you can just look for that initial sweep and correction. Because if you have an order just ready to go here, a buy stop or even just a limit order for a break of this, you could be shorting here, just targeting this area of liquidity and even front running it. You could have your initial orders here, right? So you're at this level and you're just gathering these points. How many points is that? 990 down to 975. That's a 15-point trade. That's plenty of handles, right? And those are some of the trades that I like to do, right? Being a momentum trader, there's certain different patterns you're looking for. Let me ask you this. I've been thinking about this. For 2025, would you folks want me to release a comprehensive trading course on YouTube for free? Would that be something that people would actually tune in to watch? Like, I'm talking like 50 videos. 50 videos on the YouTube channel. I've been thinking about doing that. Just going through and releasing like one episode every other day, or like 2 episodes a week, something like that. And just going through like a momentum trading strategy. Think that we just do that, like entirely free too. No cost. We could call it like the hour and 45-minute day trading course. Something like that. That could be cool, right? Maybe we do something like that. That could be fun. I think I'm going to start working on that, to be honest. Also, been thinking that we copy our friend Rampage and do the road to 1 million with a live account. That could be fun too. A lot of fun things that we could do in 2025 together, like journey-based stuff. I just want to give out more free stuff. You know what I mean? Just free. Free is always the best price. Ever seen Alex Botez? No. I know of her. I don't know her. But she's a very talented poker player. And, I mean, her bread and butter is chess. So... Ribs, what was that test you were talking about yesterday? The test you took late last year that would be good for a trader in their first 3 years. Series 3. Good for futures. If you're not a futures trader, it's not going to apply to you. But, I mean, you don't even have to take the test. Just read the study guide. The study guide is expensive. That's $150 for a book. You know? What would be the length of the videos that would be I'm thinking like somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes, maybe even like 5 to 15 minutes for each video. Because I feel like if they're longer than that, ADD starts to kick in, you know? Yeah, like 10 minutes, like bite size. Just like very easy to understand stuff. And I want to have a section in there where I go over the way that I interpret Bookmap. Because everybody's always asking me about Bookmap. And it's one of those things where some of the things in Bookmap that seem super obvious to me are just not obvious. And I've realized that through, you know, the people that I mentor day to day. A lot of confusion about Bookmap and how it should be used. Eight to 12 minutes. I like that. That seems like the sweet spot, right? I think that's the sweet spot. Should be your process. A recap of your trades would be great as well. Yeah, I think if we did like the road to $1 million thing, if we did like every single day we did an update, if we took a trade, I'm still trying to figure out how to structure that, right? Because like at the end of the day, there is some level of worry, like if you're in a big position. I don't intend to be in like monstrosities of position sizes with this stuff. But like there is a threat, like if you're in a position and you're streaming live, I don't have a delay on my stream or anything. So it's like, I don't know. I've just been like thinking about that, about trading my live account. And I'm talking about like my own self-funded account, not a prop account. A lot of ideas that I have. They're not completely fleshed out, but I like to have the open conversation on here for what you folks are looking at. This is coming down. Oh my goodness. We have PPI in less than 10 minutes, folks. Get the likes up early so we can do a poll on PPI. I do have a preview on what we're looking at here. Or I did. It's gone now. There you go. So PPI, we're looking at 0.4%. The prior read was 0.4%. Year over year, we're looking at an uptick of 50 basis points to 3.5. So road to $1 million. Do it in one day. Start with 999,000. I think the votes for the account size was less than 10,000. I can't make $1 million with less than 10,000. I mean, you could, but it's not likely. It'd take a very long time. Have to do some options trades in there and get lucky on some options trades. So if we want to do a road to $1 million, I think we have to start with somewhere between 50,000 and 250,000 in an account. Trade recaps would be a video journal for you as well. What you saw, what you possibly. I think there's definitely some truth in that. I think it'd be pretty good. There's so many rumors that go from 100 to $1 million. Yeah, I couldn't do that. I mean, you could, but you could also win the lottery. It's just not something that I could like try to do and actually pull off. You know what I mean? There's just no way. $100 to $1 million, even 1,000, 10,000 to $1 million is just like, you could do it, but it's so unlikely, you know? Taking $250,000 to $1 million is wild. Yeah, that's a 400% gain. That's crazy. Even a 400, like asking a lot here. Even going like 100,000 to $1 million is a 10,000% gain, right? There's a fourth. Wait, hold on. It's a 1,000% gain. 1,000%. It's 1,000%. Okay. 50K to 500K. Could do that too. The account size that you see on stream. This is my live account. Top Step live account. 100K to 1 mil is fairly challenging. I mean, it's almost impossible, but I've seen crazier things. Are you folks going to be trading PPI live, or are you going to be waiting for the afterglow? I'm still undecided. Might try to get a click in there live. Market looks like it wants to just keep going lower here. What do we actually have room into? We filled the gap. There's a little bit of a gap. Seriously, what do you think of Larry Williams? If that was that legitimate or not? Do we know? I haven't really looked into the whole Robbins Cup lore. What happened with Larry Williams? Is that legitimate, or did he like trade like multiple accounts and things like this? Like, was that legitimate or not? I have no idea. I haven't looked into the lore there. We are coming lower now. That takeout is working. I didn't take it. A lot of sellers here CPI, PPI. We have is CPI tomorrow? It's CPI tomorrow. Yeah. Wow, this is wild. New low of day now in spot. Road to 1 million, starting balance 3 million. Yeah, that's an easy one. That's a very easy one to do. To make $1 million from 10K, it'll take you 50 months where you make 10% each month. So after 4 years of making 10% each month, you have 1.1 million. There you go. What's up, Doomslayer? He says, sus, somebody has insider calls. Maybe. Market's very heavy right now. This is one of those things where it's like, after the fact, if it continues lower, it's like, dang it, should have got short. What's up, Sarl? G-Line says, are they gathering liquidity for the PPI move? They could be. That's what makes this incredibly risky before a big print like this. A lot of hijinks. Market is so buried right now. It's crazy how much the NASDAQ's been moving. Oh, it's a beautiful thing. I love the NASDAQ. It is insane how much it's been moving. Yeah, the London highs, if you took a short, I'm curious, who actually got a short in the hundreds today? Like, if you did, you're such a goat. If you've somehow found that to be that perfect blow off top, because they did a fake blow off top. I'm sure so many people got blasted on this move right here. Like, this seems like a blow off top, and you just get short into this thing, and then it's like, ah ha 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 ha. Yikes. This was the real blow off top. So if anybody got short up in here, you are a trading god. Or lucky. I'll take lucky. I'd rather be lucky than good. Short from the triple eights. Let's see. Where are you? Nice. Very nice. So if you got it short in 5900s or in the hundreds in the NASDAQ, oh baby. Tried to hold in the news, but barely got stopped out on my runner. Nice work. What was your entry, Mr. Luna? Nice, Shanhax. Or sorry, Fat Citizen. Sorry, your profile pictures look the same. Trading Goddess. There you go. How bad is this number about to be? You think it's like the worst number on the ticket, right? I can't believe it's still coming lower. This thing has dropped almost 40 points from where I was yapping about it. Well, we are going to trade our live account. The question becomes whether or not we're going to trade it right on the print or probably the afterglow. I'm thinking afterglow, which could be super disappointing because we could totally miss this whole thing. You know? We could just totally miss this huge move down. What we want to be watching for is at 880. This thing coming down to 880, which isn't too far. I mean, it's about 60 points from where we're trading right now, 70 points. We go down to 880, maybe we find some bidders there. But man, we got some sellers. You see this from time to time, right? This is not a foreign thing. You will see this on, PPI today, CPI tomorrow. You will see this where we have big prints and then the market just can't wait for them. Somebody knows something. All right, everybody. 90 seconds. 90. This will happen, though. This is not a big, not that big of a deal that we see this coming down pre-print. In the grand scheme of things, we're just moving inside of this zone from top to bottom here. We're in the middle of that zone. You can see the healthy distribution right there. Let's see if we can trade the afterglow. Would be lovely. Remember, the expectation for PPI is 0.4%. Year over year, 3.5%. Prior read for the month over month was the exact same, 0.4% last time. The prior read for the yearly was 3.0%. We're looking for 3.5% now, so. Is it Trump today? No. Just PPI and then CPI tomorrow. All right, 25 seconds here. 25 seconds till PPI. Order book is now getting cleared out slowly. People are lifting their orders out. Now we're vacant. There goes the order book. So let's see. If you do have a position on right now, there's going to be a lot of volatility. And this could be one of those things where you're right about the print, but you got ticked out. So just be careful. Holy smokes. Way lower than expected. Oh my goodness. Are we going to hold this push is the question. Wow, we are holding above those hundreds. All right, I'm going to try a long here. We're holding above those hundreds. I got to be quick to close this thing if we don't hold this push. What I'm looking for is a break above 143 here. Can we hold the push? I'm going to close that. We're not holding the push. I want to see this above 143. Watching, watching, watching. Let's see. Okay, back in for the break of 143. If this does break out, we have 68 as a target to the top side. We do see a lot of people kind of capping off here, though. A little bit of absorption into these 20s. Is it enough to hold us, though? Seems to be running a little bit out of steam here. If we can reclaim 30s, I'm going to add to this. Kind of holding just right at these 20s. Seems to be on life support now. We taking out these 20s, 22 order taken out. Let's see if we get above these 30s now. NASDAQ's up 0.9% now, out of nowhere. I want to see us holding above these 30s. Yeah. Tricky, tricky, tricky. All right, back out. Getting rinsed in this top line here. I got to wait for some more directionality. Because if we break out of that 143 level, this thing should trade into those 168s, and we do have a chance of that blowing off there. And we were late to pull the trigger. And we got in for what we're looking for is the break of 143. So let's see if we come down to those hundreds and actually exchange like a decent amount of liquidity there, we could actually see this holding those hundreds. But right now it's looking kind of heavy-ish. Mag 7's looking strong though. we actually going to hold this 110 level? Very, very heavy here. Okay, so there's your break of 110s. Do we have bidders that are showing up here or not? Look at that move. 952 to 120. Are we actually going to hold above these 110s? Now we're really displacing people who are getting short into that move. It's just a lot of wiggle down here. Right now, still kind of holding at this 115 level, but we need to see a breakout above us. A strong breakout. Right now, I could make an argument for this is kind of weak. Every time we come down to these hundreds, though, people start bidding it up, but we're not able to break into those 130s. So there's a good chance that we could find enough softness to start to roll here. Still kind of risky, though. All right, let's try to lean into this heaviness break of 100. If we can actually shoot down below this. Okay, we are rejecting underneath those hundreds still. A lot of bids showing up, but let's see if we can break this lower. Okay, break of those 80s is nice. I want to see a break of 75s all the way down to 55 here. If we can get this break of 80s, we're definitely in business for this trade. All right, we're layering out there as we're coming down. I wanted a cleaner flush right below those 70s. We just didn't have that cleanliness I was looking for the move down. I don't like how we reacted at the VWAP, to be honest. Hats off to anybody who saw the weakness up there. We tried it long twice. When we didn't get back over those 30s, that was kind of the tell for me. I think we can make this target much lower because if we're breaking VWAP. Yeah, now it's starting to roll over. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's see if we break these 50s now. We made 2,000. I'm going to put my stop in the profit now. So we at least made $2,000 on this trade, minimum. Wow, they're really fighting to bring this thing back up, but they're being defended pretty hard. Huge pullback in the Mag 7. Just break. Just do the breaking thing already. Yes, like that. See if we can break these 50s now. We're back in that zone of kerfuffleation, so it becomes very, very difficult to chop through orders down here. But if we do break a big level like these 50s, volume shelf starts at 45, ends at 30. If we make it through that trafficked area, we get a nice little boom shakalaka to the downside.
From downtown!
Exactly, from downtown. Almost stopped out here. There are mean sellers on this tape. I kind of want to move my stop, but we'll live with this. If we can just get back below that VWAP. Because the S&P wants it too. We just need sellers on the ticket here and now. Timing is everything in trading. There we go, stopped out. So we made $2,092 there on our trade. How'd everybody else do out there? It's in our Top Step Live account.
He's heating up.
Yes, that was NBA Jam. Anybody else catch that move? Yeah, that was a $3,500 trade because we were in drawdown. Thank you for that. Yeah. So, and again, this is one of the reasons why I'm excited to be trading a real account with you folks, because I have to navigate this drawdown thing. And for my style of trading, it's, you know, you can call it reckless, you can call it stupid, call me the worst trader on the planet. I'd agree with you. But it's just the style that I'm used to trading with. And I just want to be able to focus on the tape. I don't want to be thinking about, oh my goodness, I got to navigate through this $3,000 thing. And I know it sounds ridiculous and reckless, but it's the way that I trade. And I guess we'll see it live together. You know, maybe I look like the biggest moron on the planet. I mean, I already do, but you get what I'm saying. What's better than being a moron? Doing it live in front of 3,000 people every morning. You know? This is the stuff where I just want to... I wanted to withstand that. That could have been a bigger trade, I think. Being a moron and making money, the first part is guaranteed. I can guarantee you the first part. The second part, I cannot guarantee. But you folks have watched me for, if you know, we have folks that have been watching for 2+ years. You folks know my style. It's an aggressive style. Some days I look like, well, most of the time I look like an absolute moron. But there are some days where, you know, I come out the other side and I have a green trade. Some days. Some. I want to be able to capitalize on that. This trade, I had 10 lots on. That's a decent amount of size. I had to start peeling off lots because if we start to bump up too fast, too quickly, and I got those 10 lots on, I'm going to incur $1,500 more drawdown, and that's going to pop me out of the trade. And I want to be green on the day. Do you see how it's, you know, I'm navigating two things now? Do you see what I'm saying? That's, you know, I'm just being real. These are my thoughts. Was it 12 lots? Oh, goodness. I would trade maybe more. I would maybe be adding to that on pops. I might even get that up to like 20 contracts. Because I'm a psycho. Pass my XFA with the initial push-up. Nice work there, Big Pebbles. What's stopping you from doing your own account? Nothing. We're going to be doing that. That's something that I have committed to everybody who's watching here. That's something that we're going to do together. And I think that's going to be a fun journey together. And hey, you know what? If it blows up in my face and we end up losing a bunch of money, hey, it's only money, right? Can't take it with you. That's the way I look at it. Why don't we have some fun doing it? The way I look at it is like, you know, look, and these are not, I'm not trying to flex or big time anybody. I'm just trying to share some perspective. I go and play poker and play Bobby's Room and I buy in for a certain amount of money, why not take the amount of money that I'm buying in for Bobby's Room for one session and put that towards a live account and trade it together with you folks, right? Tax benefits are insane. We get to do it together. It's entertainment. Maybe we get a little educational while we're doing it. Hey, I feel like it's a win-win for everybody. And if it'd be an extra win-win if I do well with the account. You know? How did we do on the S&P? Any of my S&P traders in here take that? Big rejection at 5,900 is where we're kind of trading right now. Big rejection there, here and now, which is probably why we're doing this little kerfuffle dance in the NQ. Did great on the run up, nice. Hopefully nobody was holding their short into that move after the discussion we had. It's so difficult, and I get it, right? I've actually been there before. I've done this with funded accounts. I've done this with challenge accounts where you are short in this move, right? You're short. And then you're sitting there and you're like, I don't want to take it down because, boy, if that news comes in and it flushes super hard, I want to have my position on still. And let's just say that you were one of the folks that was short from here. When you're down here pre-print, you know, you're got almost 100 points in the profit there. You're sitting there and you're saying, dude, it's PPI. There's no way that they're going to bring this above my entry. I got my stop right here. And then it comes up, stops you out, and then you lose all your profit. I've been there before. I've done that exact move. Before. I've literally, and greed. Greed is what causes that. Worst is like, maybe you're short from here and you're like, I'm going to put my stop right here. Because there's no way down here they're going to wick it up that high, right? That's me. I'm the dude. I've done that one many times. Greed is such a killer with trading, right? I call that hungry eyes now. But it's always like, dude, you're watching it. You're down there. You're seeing your green profit. You're feeling like you got the armor on. You got that invincibility cloak. You're like, I'm fine. I'm so much in the green right now. This market couldn't cook me. And then the market's like, dude, hold my beer. Oh, dang it. You know? You feel like total shit. It's the worst feeling in the world. You feel like you're the biggest friggin' moron in the world. Because you're sitting there, wait, let's go back pre-print. I'm just going to cover half, right? let me go back right before the print. Let me just cover half real quick. I was kidding. I didn't even want to have full size on. But then you go back and you think about your mindset before the trade happened, before the print happened. You think about it and you're like, no, I could make a little bit more. You know? If I just held this, I could make even more. Every time I've had that thought, I swear to God, it's like the market's just like, dude, you know what? You're short. Let me just, I'm going to f*** your day. It's the worst feeling. Thankfully, that didn't happen to us today, but I guarantee you there's at least one person that's watching that's going through the motions right now with that. It sucks. Dude, that's when the market is just you just get humbled, and it sucks when it happens over and over. You start to learn. You're like, okay. And then here's the funny thing. I swear to God, this is how it works, right? You put it on, let's just say you were the dude. You had on the short, right? You were short from here. You got it down here, and you're like, I'm going to leave it on. Stopped out, right? You do that. And then tomorrow, let's say CPI, same thing. You put on the short, you're down here. You're like, look, I know I should take it off, but it's going to go lower. CPI comes. And then I don't know, maybe it's PPI or something. I don't know. CPI, PPI. What's another one? Let's just say FOMC. FOMC is violent, but what's a PCE, right? PCE, you're short here, and then you get it, you're down here, and you got a big trade on. You're up I don't know, over $2,000 on this trade, and you're like, you know what? Last 2 times I took this thing on, or I left this thing on, it stopped me out, went, I'm going to take this off because I'm the smart trader this time. And what happens when you take it off on PCE? What happens? It goes, grrr, and you're like, fuck. The one time I decide to be the responsible trader. Dude, market, what the I swear to God, that's like the market knows. It's like every single time you're like, all right, this time, this is the time I'm going to be responsible. I'm the responsible trader now. You take it down and it just goes, brrr, and you're like, dude, I would have made like 50 grand. It's the one time you don't do it when you're not a degenerate. You're like, oh, I'm going to be responsible. See you at church on Sunday. The market just does exactly what you thought it was going to do because they are who they thought we were. It's so annoying. Good old trading. Why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we do this to ourselves every single morning? By the way, we are pushing up here. We are pushing up in a big way. This is crazy. What a rejection. So we have reclaimed 5,900 here. The market's always watching. Mike Z says, I've invented new swear words since I've started trading. Yeah, dude, it sounds about right. If you have kids, can't swear in front of your kids, right? You have to play to win the game. Yeah, and then it's like the times that you're responsible is always the times when it goes, you know? Happened to me last month. I took my short off 2 minutes before the news and it flushed. Yeah, it's like the market's just watching your trades and you're like, dude, come on. You go to your wife, your significant other. I don't do this anymore, but this is like in my first 3 years when I thought my wife actually cared. And I'm like, you don't understand. She's like, did you make money today? Yeah, I made money, but I could have made like 10x. I could have made way more if I would have just left it on. So why don't you leave it on? Well, last time, 2 times I left it on, I got booty blasted. You got what? When I started out, I tried so hard to make market. Oh, dude. I remember that stage of trading. Bet more. I'm only down 1,000. I'll just double my size. I'm down 3,000. All right, well, 3,000. We can dig out of this hole. Bet more. I'm down 6,000 now. I should stop. No, keep going. Dude, that devil. Your wife trades, so we do trading therapy together? That's awesome. I could never get my wife into trading. She was a saint. When I was teaching myself to trade, she was a saint. Because she's my #1 fan. Biggest fan. Love her to death. And bless her heart for pretending that she actually cared when I was talking about trading. That one day, she's like, I actually don't care about anything you're talking about. And I was like, oh. Your wife quit after 1 loss. I mean, there's different pain tolerance for different people. Some people have it, some people don't. I feel like as traders, we tend to have this threshold of pain that is so much higher than others. You ever seen the show Billions? That's why Chuck Rhodes is such a freak. Loves the dominatrix stuff. Loves the pain. Is the number bullish? I mean, to be honest, I thought the reaction was weird that we pumped up, but it's pretty clear that they're just wanting to screw people. It came in lower. Is this live? This is recorded, but somehow I knew that you were going to ask that question at exactly this time. So I pre-recorded this answer. Stefan says, my girlfriend is my biggest hater I could say ever. Stop. That's horrible. Yeah, so if you missed the print was 0.2, wasn't it? Let me see. So many things happened. Wow, we were coming straight back down. It was 0.2%. Year over year, 3.3%. It's the highest since February of 2023. Wow, this is not a market to stay in. This is a market to navigate and be nimble around. This is crazy. 120 down to 60. That's a 60 handle move in 3 minutes. Probably going for more. My God. Somebody ordered some violence this morning with the market. What's my bias today? Well, I want to wait and see when this dust settles, because right now we're dealing with this print. I wonder if we're actually going to take out these lows at the 40s, because we have such a large volume shelf there now. This music is very intense. It's like asking me to trade. Way too intense. I feel like we need to peel back the intensity a little bit. Way too intense. How's this one? That's better. Turn it off. Don't give in. I mean, I'm happy with a $2,000 day. That's nice. We hit our max loss yesterday. We made 800 live on stream, and then I went and traded on in the Clubhouse and Discord. It hit max loss yesterday. Horrible. Max loss is $3,000. Horrible. It feels like crap because I was right. I was right about the move. I thought and said that we were going to go down. So I said, hey, we're going to be going down. And I layered into that bad dogger. And then it went, ticked me out. The moment it ticked me out, hit my stop for the day for the $3,000 loss. And then it went, oh, haha, Rips is out now. That's generally how that works. By the way, folks, we get to 1,000 likes, we will continue streaming into the open here. I can't promise that we're going to trade, but I'll hang out with you. We do have a little bit of news coming out for the rest of the day. It is Tuesday, so we do have the economic optimism print coming out at 10 a.m. 7 a.m. Pacific time for our West Coast friends. Start trading after Rips hits 3K loss is the best strategy. I like that. I wish I could do that one. That'd be sweet if I could replicate that. Is 3K your personal daily loss limit? It's set by the broker. In this case, Top Step. So yeah, that's my personal daily loss limit. But if we're trading on our own account, we're probably going to have a little bit more wiggle room. Redbook numbers came out and nobody cares. That's generally how it's been. Redbook retail sales generally have been really a snooze fest lately. But those just came out 50 seconds ago. 4.0% year over year for the week ending January 11th. We're already halfway through January. What happened? I feel like it's December still. When's the own account trading starting? Maybe this month, maybe next month. We'll see. I'm thinking maybe this month. I don't know. Can you request a higher DLL from Top Step? They said they'd give me 5K, but I mean, I was like, whatever. And I feel like with 5K, I'd probably be around the same 2,000 more. I'm still dealing with that in my head. I don't know. It's a thing. It's a thing for me. I don't know. Maybe it's a thing that's good for me, but the way that I'm trading lately and the moves that I'm seeing, I just feel like, I don't know. We'll see. My account size is not, it's a live account, so there is no sizing to it. I only do trade the 150K combines and XFAs though when I do trade those, but I haven't traded those in months because we've been on our live account. This thing looks like it wants to break lower. Does it not? How long have you been trading? This is gonna be my 11th or 12th year. Look at that tease. It looked like it was gonna break below that 45 level. Oh my goodness. Market's looking so heavy again. Mag 7 heavy-ish, but not like anything spectacular. If we're breaking below 135 halves in NVIDIA, that would be something. As bad as like this would be a great momentum short for me. It's just too many tricks and hijinks right now, and we're coming to the top of the hour. We're gonna have an injection of liquidity coming at the top of the hour, so we have to kind of wait for that. Does anybody have any new updates about the new Top Step dashboard that's supposed to be coming out? The one we signed up for early access for. I have not heard anything about that, but I'll keep you posted. The moment I hear anything, I have not heard anything about it. Microphone, Shure SM7B. Pie says, I wish I could trade the way I do in practice with no emotions. Well, there's going to be a point in your trading where you do have to separate yourself from the money and the emotions. I want to put that to you folks. Well, first of all, let's see if we can do a poll. 500 likes, we do a poll. What are we at right now? We are at 700. Okay, great. Let's do a poll first. Will the NQ end the day above or below? Let's just say 21,000. All right. Above, below. Cool. Go ahead and vote. Vote with honesty. I don't have any idea who's voting what, so just be honest. What do you really think? Let me ask you this. In addition to our poll here, this is a serious question too. And I've often contemplated this one. I don't know if there is a correct answer or not. Maybe it's subjective as a per person. But do you think that there are going to be people out there that will never be able to separate themselves from the money, therefore will never be able to cross over into the higher level, the higher echelon, the higher tier of good traders? Do you think that there is a hindrance for some people that will cause them to never be able to be good traders? Or do you think this is something that can be learned over time? Because my wife and I actually had a debate about this months ago. I'm curious what you folks think. I'm from the camp where I think that there are people at the end of the day, no matter what, are going to be so allergic to risk that they're just never going to be able to cross that hump. No matter how hard they try. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like some people are just wired. They put on a trade and their thought goes to, what does this money equal in my life? I'm going to be honest with you. When I'm playing poker for like massive size, the very last thing that I'm thinking about in a pot is what that money buys. Because if the moment that I start thinking about that, you're going to see that on my face. And if you're playing poker in real life, in person, you can't show that on your face, especially if you're playing for a ton of money. Like, and that's a realistic take, because I've been there where you have what would be life-changing money in the middle of a pot, and you have to execute a bluff that is for even more money that's in the pot. And like, if you think for a second about what that money could actually buy, I feel like you'd crumble. I think I would. That's the last thing that's ever on my mind when I'm playing a pot, like a sizable pot. That's the last thing that's on my mind is like, what could I buy with this money? The point is that I think that you have to have the mindset of where the money is. Wow, we are really sweeping low now. Holy smokes. Anybody catch this short? Nice. Very nice. Sick. What are your folks' targets? I mean, this is a tricky area because we have so much traffic in this area here. I wonder if we're going to give back the entire move. It's looking like, that violent break there, the buyers are not here. God, if you could have got that reshort at 120. Oh, chef's kiss right there. 100 points. Wow. The point is that I feel like if you are trading or doing an activity, playing poker, trading, you're using money as an object, as a tool to achieve a certain objective. In poker, you have to use money as an object or a tool to achieve an objective of a bluff. And think about it. You're sitting there and you're completely and entirely full of shit, right? You're entirely full of shit. And you have to use that money as a tool, knowing that probably you can't win this if the person makes the correct decision and calls you. In trading, you're rarely ever going to be putting on a trade and it's immediately going to go in your favor. It's very rare that you're going to see that. You put on a trade, oh my goodness, I'm in the green. It happens, but it's rare. So I feel like there's a certain level that you need to get to in your mindset where you stop thinking about, okay, what does this money mean? One of the ways that you can get over this is hiding the dollar amounts in your account. You can switch it to points. You can switch it to ticks. That way you're not seeing the money. Does anybody trade like that here and now? Does anybody right now, is anybody trading with their chart set to points, ticks, not dollars? There has to be a couple people in here, right? Only points, ticks, points. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I trade with the dollars, and especially, I mean, because it's being on stream here, you want to be showing the dollars, of course. But back in my earlier days of trading, when I was trading just equities, options, equities, my focus wasn't on futures. I would have a Post-it note over a section. I use Sterling, I use DAS. I would have a Post-it note over a section of my P&L, but I'd often find myself peeking. I'm not gonna lie, I was peeking underneath that thing, but it was helpful. But I feel like, I started playing poker when I was really, really young. So I've been like in an environment of risk. I've been an entrepreneur. I've started companies and sold companies. There's a level of risk that you become accustomed to where you start to look at money as a tool. So I'm wondering, what is the way that we can find a way to fast track for the people who are still kind of dealing with that? I think hiding P&L is one thing. But there has to be some type of exercise that gets people to jump over that fence of risk. And I think the answer to that is going slowly. Going super slow. And I know it's difficult with social media out there. Everybody's slamming in your face about how much money they're making. But the reality is that you got to focus on your own journey, right? You got to focus on what you're doing in your own trading journey. Because if you're focused on somebody else's journey, guess what? They're not going to pay you. Hold on. I think that's where it all starts, right? Ah, yeah, good stuff. But I think it starts with like focusing on sizing down, maybe starting in something like the micros and just focusing on how many points are you getting per trade versus like how much money am I pulling down? My man, Dan. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if you could focus on just how many points you're making on a trade and not the dollar amount, I think you're going to do a heck of a lot better. By the way, we have less than 10 minutes to get these likes in. Less than 10 minutes to stream the open together. But I mean, look, let's figure out like what would you have made? Let's just say that your max size is 3 micros. Okay, your max size is 3 micros. I know, messy chart. We'll get through this. And let's just say that you bingoed into a long because you said, if this print starts to get violent to the top side, we're going to bingo into this thing long. Okay. So you're in at 970 and you take this thing all the way up to 120. Big move. But these moves happen all the time. But let's just say you were the guy or gal. You caught that trade from 970 up to 120. That's 50 points of alpha. Okay, so you're trading 3 micros. That's $6. On 50 points, you make $300 in an instant. But the point is that you didn't make $300, you made 50 points. Now think about that. How does that translate over into when you're starting to get comfortable with things? Because if you can repeat this process over and over and over, you're focused on, okay, I made 50 points on this trade. Let's have that translate over. Now we start trading 1 mini. Okay. 1 mini increases that by over 300% now. Because, right, the micro to mini conversion is talking about a 10% difference. It's 1/10. Over 300% difference now. Because all you did was change the contract. It's crazy, right? Isn't that nuts when you think about it? If you're just focused on the points aspect of things versus, oh, I got to make $1,000 today. Rip, stay for the open because Aaron from Australia is watching, worth 200 likes. I have to check for the Aaron to likes conversion right now. I'm not sure. We haven't looked at that market today. Same points, bigger size. But there has to be that level of where we get to that comfort where we're starting to focus on the points versus focusing on what's our dollar amount on this trade. We are trading the NQ. Kelly. Zach says, I post important price zones every day. The price respects the zone, but most of the time I execute terrible. What is the worst part of your execution, Zach? When you say that you have terrible execution, talk to me more about that. Let's work through this. What is it? How can I send you 10K? Don't. We'll start there. Step 1, do not. That's funny. Are micros the Walmart of futures trading? No. I joke a lot here. I'm often sarcastic. There was somebody who was like really upset DMing me about when I said Walmart money. It's a joke. I'm making jokes here. Don't want to have a dry show. DL says, Rips, the focus should be on knowing where one is getting into a trade where you are getting out. That's deep right there. That's deep. Stop's probably set too close to take profit too early. I mean, that's the thing too. If you switch over to, let me ask you this. Okay, people who've never traded on micros before, then they went and traded on micros for the first time. What was the first thing that you noticed? Good morning, Ripspawn. Good to see you. What was the very first thing that you noticed when you went from minis to micros? I feel like there's an overarching theme here. When you switch from minis to micros, the very first thought, Dan nailed it. Less stress. Exactly. But it's like, was it Step Brothers? More room for activities. Way more room for activities, right? So what does that mean, right? What does that mean? You have less stress, you have more room for activities. What does that mean? Well, it means that the stress that you're inducing trading on the minis has likely been caused by you not being able to withstand heat. So micros will allow you two things, twofold approach. Number one, it's going to allow you to take more heat. Ergo, step 2, it's going to allow you to take more heat to then work on where your execution and entries should have been. And maybe we go into step 3, where now we're learning where is a good spot to add into this trade. So if you're not taking advantage of using micros, and I mean like really doing it, right? Like 29 Stuff says 150 micros. That's not really utilizing the micros, right? If you're like a 1 to 2 mini lot trader, maybe we're going to like 2 to 8 micros. I would say 2 to 6 is probably better. But what you're going to find is like, yeah, you're going to make less, but you're going to learn more. We've had this discussion so many times in here talking about, okay, you're here right now. It's January 14th, 2025. Whether you like it or not, we're going to be having this discussion again, February 14th, 2025. It's a month from now. The difference between you here and now today and you a month later on February 14th, it's going to be all the changes you decide to make from today going forward. So if you are struggling right now with, I'm trading the minis, I get really close to passing, then I blow the account. Or I trade my minis, I go crazy, I pass a combine, I get my XFA, and then it's gone. Or I build up my XFA, I have a good couple days, and then it's gone. Well, you're not really learning much, right? You're learning that you're probably pressing the gas a little bit too hard, you're running into some trouble. But if we go back to this discussion on the minis, on the micros rather, well, maybe you're on the micros, you're trading on the micros, maybe from now and a month later, you learn something. You learn, okay, my entries were dog food. I was not adding into trades when I should have clearly been adding into these trades. And look at this, I still have the same account that I was trading a month ago. Or maybe you've passed account and you're in an XFA. But the point is that you're probably going to expand a lot more on your core principles of trading by doing that process versus spinning your wheels doing the same thing in the minis, right? You follow me? Like, if you're spinning your wheels doing the same thing in the minis, what are you really learning in between today and February 14th? Probably not that much, right? I would think that you're probably going to be learning a lot more if you're trading in the micros, because there's a lot of people, and this is the discussion, we're having. If you're killing it in the minis, stay in the minis. But if you're having that problem where you're like, I can do things and I get there and whatever, it's probably because you're trying to press the gas too hard. I wanted to be the biggest billion-dollar trader when I first started trading. That was my draw. And I got sucked into it real bad because the first week that I traded, I made a ton of money and I had no idea what I was doing. And I chased that dragon for a long time because I was like, okay, well, I lost some, just hit it harder. And I feel like that's our natural human emotion. That's our natural response. That's why 90% of people who are trading are doing it. 90% of the people out there that are trying trading are failing. You can look at the prop firm statistics. Look at how much money prop firms are making. Not because they're evil, because they figured out that people suck at trading and they can charge people for trading on a paper account. That's the reality. They're not evil people. They're giving us a chance because, heck, if you did this on your own account, you'd be getting blasted. For real. Go ahead and try it. If you're not a veteran trader, go ahead and try it. You get blasted. Prop firms are a blessing. You can call them evil because they make money in the process, but they're not. They pay out traders. They do their thing, right? Dan says you can have 10 days of reasonable profit, then blow it all in an hour. Yeah, because you're going too much size. So let's for you folks out there that are still doing the struggle bus, let's make a promise to each other. Today is January 14th. Let's make a promise that we're going to switch over to micros. We're going to cap our micros for the next month. Like hard cap of 8 micros. The max size you could take is 8 micros. And then we're just going to switch over to points and we're going to focus on points. Watch how much your trading transforms over the next month. Because the only difference once you figure that out is going from the micros to the minis. And that's just that's a different letter on the screen. That's a different number on the screen. It's the same trade though. You're doing the same trade. You're finding the same trade. But the micros are going to allow you to explore those trades even more. And if you're actually serious about this, you actually want to grow in your trading, you're going to start to figure out these little nuanced things like, okay, that was a bad entry. Look at how much heat I took on this trade. Like that was, my entry on that trade was I shouldn't be entering there. I should be patient. I should be waiting. Okay, that's a better area for me to be trading. And then like, oh, this is a pullback. I should be adding to this. And you couldn't find that on the minis because you're sitting there and you're like, dude, this is a big trade. This is like thousands of dollars right here. Oh man, you're stressed out. Like you start thinking about thousands of dollars. It ain't gonna work. I'll tell you, in recent memory, one of my best plays that I did in Bobby's room, I was sitting in a pot. I started the hand, probably had $400,000 in front of me. A lot of money. And again, not a flex. I'm just telling a story because this is how I can link with this emotionally. Had about $400,000 to start the hand. I was playing one of the best players in the game, arguably one of the best players in Vegas, big cash game player, incredible player. And we were in a monstrosity of a pot. And I saw weakness in this player. And we got to the point where I had committed probably $160,000 to this pot. And on the turn, I checked to this person and they let out for $70,000. And as they're leading out, I sensed weakness. I knew I sensed weakness. And I knew that the only thing that I could possibly do to win this hand, because I didn't have anything, the only thing I could possibly do to win this hand was to move all in. Because I sense weakness and it's like, who has the worst, weaker hand, And I sensed that he had the weaker hand. So I had to snap jam all in against this player after they just put in $70,000 and I'm committing $200 something thousand on top of what's already in the pot, essentially $400,000. I had to snap commit that because that's the only way that I could win that pot. If I started to think about what that money could have bought me, I never would have been able to make that move. Ever. I don't care how rich you are. $400,000 is a ton of money. I don't care how many millions and tens of millions of dollars you have. That is a ton of money. If you think for a moment that I was thinking about the money when I'm making that move, you're wrong. I had to think about the process of what I was doing, and it worked. And I ended up taking down that pot. If I thought for a second about what those dollars represented, I never would have been able to make that move. And I would have been like, dude, I don't have anything. I can't. You really want me to put in $250,000 and I don't have a fucking thing? Same thing goes for trading. Same exact thing goes for trading. You start to think about the money when it's pulling back and you're like, dude, I should be adding to this. And you're like, well, I can't because like I would lose and like the money. And it's like, I can't, like, why would I add to? You already lost. You lost the game. Even if you went on the trade, you cost yourself money. So if we go to the micros, we make this commitment, we go to the micros, watch how much your trading evolves. All right? All right, everybody. 80 likes short. I thought we were going to do it today. I got to boogie on over to the Clubhouse. I'll see you folks bright and early tomorrow. It's been a pleasure. I enjoyed hanging out with every single one of you this morning. It's been great. I really do appreciate every single one of you. I really do. Thank you for showing up today. We'll be back again tomorrow. We ended up making right now, I don't know if we're going to continue to trade or not, maybe about $2,100 in our live account. So I'll be here tomorrow, folks. If you're going to continue to trade today, be careful. I mean, the afterglow can be a little funky, so just be careful out there, okay? Be careful. And I'm going to check in with you folks tomorrow for you folks that are switching over to the micros. We're going to do a roll call tomorrow and see how many of you folks are in for this sort of 1 month challenge for micros and seeing how much it affects your trading. Because I want to see this in real time. Because I know there's people out there that are struggling with the minis right now. And I want to see how much your trading can evolve by switching over to those micros and just saying like, you know what, it's a month. Yeah, I'm not going to make millions of dollars over the next month, but I probably wasn't going to make it anyway. You know what I mean? I'm going to focus on getting better because that's what we should be doing. All right? All right, everybody. I'll see you bright and early tomorrow, 8 a.m. Eastern time. Take care. Be good. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.